So the future then, going forward, we've been working together, meeting up, at least once a month. We are looking at the rollout of current use cases globally, so that's across different departments. The talent acquisition department is a really straightforward one. We've already told the story to the business in terms of where we've been and the plan going forwards, but compensation and benefits, recruitment, advertising, even business development. So we do a lot of business capture, and often in order to win the bid it has to be competitive, and labour cost can be a massive part of the cost which we have to give to customers, of this kind of cost estimation. So the more accurate our business capture team can be around the expected labour cost, for sort of Saudi Arabia or Kuwait or Qatar, what's it going to cost to get those candidates from the US or the UK, because that's the only place we've got these particular aircraft running. That's the only place in the world where that talent's going to reside. What's it going to cost to move them, to kind of attract them in the first place? What does the supply, how long is it going to take? And it's enabling them to make clearer and more accurate bids, and it's also helping us up front to get that engagement and get in front of these requirements. That's been a challenge for a long time. We're often given just reactive demands where the business development team have gone in, they've given a kind of estimate on cost, they've won a bid, and then we found out perhaps a few weeks before the aircraft are due to sort of be delivered, and we need to find 220 people for Kuwait and go for all of the mobility stuff and all the rest of it. So it's really good for that to kind of just help get in front, and then use to define global role profiles. So we have something called an audience profile, which we mainly use for the critical skills, the 8 critical skills, which we've Boeing basically sees them as critical enablers for the business as it goes into its second century of operations. So in this area, we're kind of paying a lot of attention to what the market's telling us. Previously, there's been a very inside-out perspective, but we're kind of reaching out to the market now and asking, what are the perceptions, what are the drivers, what does good look like in terms of, from your perspective, in terms of employers. And then we're being transparent around what good looks like to us from a talent perspective as well. And then strategic use of the intelligence to help in new business. So I've already covered that with the business capture. So the current landscape of Boeing users, we have the global sourcing talent acquisition advisors. We've gone through that process with them. It's a brand new role for Boeing, so it was a perfect opportunity to add that accountability and add that kind of skill. So we've sort of upskilled. We've done this internally, so we've upskilled operational recruiters and given them that extra responsibility. Strategic sourcing team, so we have a global capability in the UK, Bangalore and Mesa, Arizona, of sourcers who have access to all of the regions that we have at the moment and will have in the future. They engage in the kind of ahead of demand talent pipelining projects. Recruitment advertising, so it's been to date quite limited, but on the call the other day, the request is coming through more and more from the business in terms of how do you prove this, where's the data behind this, are we channeling in the right areas, or are we wasting our time? So they're coming online as well. And then talent leaders, so they can use a tool to help understand how to allocate work, how to prioritise work across their teams. So they can use it really quickly in the steering meetings to understand how difficult is this going to be, is this project or role going to be to work on, what do we need to allocate in terms of our internal resource, and then make decisions in terms of workload for their team. Rewards team, so our compensation and benefits team, we've got another demonstration with them later on this week. They're going to be looking at this going forwards. The workforce analysts, so we've got an internal talent analytics team as well, which looks at our internal Boeing talent pool and pipeline. HR planning, so again, this can be around centralisation efforts or co-location. They're very interested in that side. And then new business capture, as mentioned. So the deployment and the growth for us and what we've requested, I'm sorry that I wasn't here earlier on. I'd love to hear from you guys in the room as well about any other regions you might be looking to build out. But for us, we've kind of prioritised some of the regions for growth. So China is going to be really big for us on the commercial side, so the big commercial aircraft. Australia is huge on the defence. We have a new anti-submarine capability going over to Australia. Korea, we do a lot of work there in support of the South Korean Air Force with Apache helicopters and F-15s. Saudi Arabia is quite a big area for us at the moment as well, with the F-15s and F-18s going there. Kuwait, so the Middle East is just really busy in general. Japan is really difficult, and I was really surprised that the guys were going to be able to do this, because it's, you know, having done it manually, really difficult to get any kind of data, and China as well, to be honest. Ireland, and then the phase 3, you know, again across APAC, the Middle East, and Canada as well, where we have a lot of satellite activity. And then South America, so it's going to be Brazil, where we were in discussions with Embraer about merger and acquisition there. Poland, where we have an analytics capability. Taiwan and Indonesia. So jobs at work are going to continue to support us. At the moment, we're using a lot of different tools across the globe, so we're really trying to minimise the number of different tools that we're using, embed them, and just roll out this process. We're going to start in the US, and we're almost there with the US now. Then we're going to roll it through to India, and then to Europe, and then to APAC. So the guys have been really great. So thanks very much for everything that you've done.